Really important first day for us to get off and come from behind and win the game in the second half and believe the whole way through that we are going to find a way. Defense did a tremendous job in the second half, holding them down, getting off the field in the third downs and all of that. Just playing tough as heck and really excited for our guys. We've worked really hard to get to this point and to get in that locker room and have that kind of fun and cheer on one another and all of that. But it was it's East Coast, I don't know, East Coast, we don't mind coming out here, so maybe we can keep that going.
You've seen Gino Smith do this plenty of times before, but today felt like a statement game from him in terms of what he can do and the stabilizing force that you've been talking about that he is.
Yeah, for him to complete over 70% of his passes again, he's been doing this now. Gino had a regular game today. I don't think it was a big statement game or anything like that. I just think it was what he does, and we'll do better than that. He's got him to do better than that. We got rushed a little bit today a couple times, and that really kind of changed his opportunities to have even a bigger day. But the fact that we had so many big plays, somebody said that we had 9 plays over 20, like it was tied a record or something. I can't believe that. I can't believe with all the guys we've had in the years here in the Raiders that we didn't have more now. But it was still a big day for us, and he did a great job.
Toward the end of the first half, the offense kind of hit a lull there. Had a few punts after interception, but it seemed like coming out of the third quarter, Gino in particular, he still maintained that level of confidence. What goes into that for a player, being able to have some moments and then shake it off and get back to it?
He's a star player in the NFL. He's been doing this for a long time. That was a normal response by him to just not worry about it. We took a couple sacks on pressures that we didn't need to take. I wish we would have got rid of the football instead of getting hit. But other than that, and there was a couple penalties in there, I think that it felt like it made a difference, and we were in second and 20s or something like that, at first and 20, really hard to play from there. But other than that, shoot, I thought we were fine. I wish we'd have run the ball better. They did a nice job up front against us. We didn't get much going, but we stayed with it enough to give us the play passes that we needed to throw the football around. So Jacoby had a terrific game, running after the catch and getting pounded and then making more yards. I thought that was special. Trey's touchdown was perfect. With the protection, they picked it up versus the pressure, and we hit a touchdown pass. So a lot of good things happened across the board, and we're really happy.
You guys lost to Landon, but it seemed like the linebackers, the communication stayed true, and they stayed with it even with the loss.
Yeah, he sprained his elbow, and we'll see what that all means. He's tough as nails, and if he can come back, he will. But those guys have been rolling a lot. John Glenn has been moving those guys through so that we have fresh callers and guys that can communicate really well. So that wasn't that far off for us to deal with that properly. Tommy got a little playing time in there, which was great. But I thought the whole group played really well.
Pete, what's your level of concern with Brock Bowers' knee injury?
They're looking at his knee, and he wanted to go back in, and they wouldn't let him go back in. They thought, let's watch the game, see how it goes. We didn't have to do that. So, he's an incredible player. So yeah, we need to have him.
Hey, Coach, how did you guys
Can't even get a question in on the sheet, man.
How did you guys game plan for Drake May, and how do you think you guys stuck to that game plan?
Well, this first game, you really don't know what you're getting. And we saw them in preseason, and they saw us in preseason. We didn't motion one snap in preseason this year, so we were moving a lot today, if you noticed. And so they likewise, they did things that they hadn't done. We, in this first game and even the second game and the third game, these are all games that they're a little bit loose on, what you're planning for, because teams can change and they haven't really showed their hands. Some of the clubs that have been together for a long time, it's a little bit different. But the new teams, brand new teams, we didn't know what they were going to do. And Josh had a lot of good calls in there and a lot of good stuff that he did against us.
You mentioned that the run game wasn't quite there, but you guys did have success with the play action passing game. How do you think you guys were able to do that even without the run game really being there?
No, they still got on the run. They were getting fired up and hyped up about stopping it, and so I thought Chip called a great game to take advantage of that. Their aggressive style at the line of scrimmage allowed us to get a few plays out of them, and that's just kind of how we play. And so hopefully we keep that going. But we'll need the running game a lot more formidable than that.
Pete, you preached compete since you got here, and today, towards the end of that second and the end of the first half, when the team got behind, you could tell they were frustrated, but they never quit competing. Is that why you do it from day one? Is you install it, for you just can't do it and turn it on game day?
Yeah, and that is the essence of why this is the central theme in the program, is so that you never call it at any one point, you just keep competing and you just keep battling. Play after play after play, don't pass judgment, just keep rolling. And these guys were talking like that at halftime, they were talking like it on the sidelines, and they kept talking about just keep doing the right thing, keep doing the right way, and we'll work our way out of it. That is the conversation that we're trying to develop on a regular basis. So there ain't nothing that we can't handle. And so it was a good illustration of that. Thanks for pointing that out.
Pete, one of those 20-yard plays was on a 3rd and 20 late in that fourth quarter. The throw with Dante Thornton.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how big that play was?
That was a
right
huge
there?
play. Yeah, that really swung the game where we really were in command of the game from that point on. That was a huge job by the guys up front because Gino had some extra time there, and he got a chance to throw it down there in a really nice, unusual play that Dante makes a catch on. So it was a very significant play in that game. And fortunately, it worked out. We still could have won the game without that one, but that play really kind of put us on top of the game for us.
Also, Michael Mayer, not bad for a number 2 tight end, I guess.
And number 2 tight end.
Yeah.
We got ones. Those guys can all play and do stuff. Mike made some big catches today. Hung on to the ball great. Unfortunately, we had one right-in ball tip today, and they get a pick on it. But we played with the ball in our hands really securely all day long, which is what we've been doing everything in our power to own once we get to these games. I was really proud of that today.
How proud are you of your young corners? I mean, they just stepped up today and made
They
some.
did fine. You know, we had two PIs called on us. I think you could go with both of them. And you could see the offensive guy ran into Eric, I think it was, and knocked him back. You know, and the guy, the side judge, you couldn't see it really. But I thought that was one that didn't have to get called. And I thought Kai Blue did a nice job on fighting to the hands without making something that impeded that receiver. So I challenged both of them. And I thought those guys played really well.
Guys good?
Thanks.
Coach.